No matter how many accomplishments you achieve in life, there's always a group of people who have no idea what you've done. That being said, even to yourself, you change on a daily basis and you have to reintroduce yourself. This week on Motivation and Confidence. Stay tuned. All right, everybody worldwide, you're now tuned into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. I remember some time ago, I ran into a high school friend who's a music producer, and he had the opportunity to pretty much produce some pretty major hits, and doesn't matter which tracks and name dropping and all that stuff, but it was major hits, billboards, platinum hits. And being that we were both into music since we were in high school together, I'd asked him, I said, how does it feel? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, how does it feel to have made it? Like, you're doing what we always dreamed of. And he looked at me and he said, Tom, it's not what you think that it is. I was like, well, what do you mean? He went on to explain that even though he had produced countless hits for many major artists and had gotten major placements in films, commercials, and in music, he said every time he had to go for a project, he had to reintroduce himself. And I didn't really get it at the moment when he said it. I'm like, reintroduce yourself? He's like, yes. He's like, every time I sit at the table for a new project, although my body of work says that I've completed this, it's sort of like, well, what can you do now? And if you remember, in episode number 97, if I'm not mistaken, 96 with producer King Amadeus, he said, you're only as hot as your last hit. So follow me for a second. So then I started thinking, why is it that we don't take the time to reintroduce ourselves to ourselves on a daily basis? Anytime you go for a job interview or a promotion or looking to level up in anything, one of the questions that are asked is, so tell me about yourself. And in a formal setting, this is basically reintroducing yourself to a person who may or may not know you. And not only are they judging you based on what you have done, they're more or less looking at, well, what can you do for me now? Or what can you do now? Now, I would think that outside of the realm of being interviewed and positioning yourself for a particular situation, we as individuals on a daily basis need to reintroduce ourselves to ourselves. Are we taking the time to reflect on what we've learned from the day before and what we're bringing forth in a new day? How are we starting our days? What thoughts do we have? What goals are we setting? Long-term and short-term? What things do we don't like today that we liked yesterday? We need to take the time to further get to know ourselves. And I wonder why that is not something that we are taught as children. I was having another conversation with a person by the name of Dr. Brenda Bowers. And her thoughts on that is because we are raised to be givers, right? Take care of others. What can you do for other people? And in the midst of that, we never really take the time to learn ourselves. So I think that the moment needs to be created where we are thinking about what we like, what we don't like, and who we are. And one of the simplest ways, in her words, to accomplish this is by spending time with yourself when you rise and before you go to bed. Now, for those of you who follow the podcast, you know that I am a firm believer in when you first wake up in the morning, do your prayer, meditation, write in your journal, and you read. This is a morning ritual that I've had for a long time, as well as exercising. But in that time, what's crucial is that you're getting closer to yourself. And it's hard to function in the world efficiently without becoming stressed, without looking at other people and figuring out why don't I have what they have? Because you're basing your thoughts on other things that you see. And actually, you're measuring yourself against a metric which isn't real. Followers, likes, comments, subscribers. For those of you who really work on social media, for a couple of dollars, you can get as many likes, followers, and comments that you like. But who are you fooling? You're only fooling yourself. Taking the time to reintroduce yourself to yourself allows you to further get to know yourself. Every time you walk into a room, you pretty much have to reintroduce yourself. And if you don't, you're shooting yourselves in the foot because you're automatically thinking that everyone knows what you're capable of, or what you can do, or what you bring to the table. And I think that sometimes we constantly get annoyed and we get comfortable in the sense of we can just go in and out our daily lives with just doing just enough. Not taking that time to reintroduce ourselves to ourselves as well as to other people. Now, I know this may sound a little bit all over the place, but really think about it. When was the last time that you looked yourself in the mirror and say, "Hi, I am. This is where I'm from. And this is who I am. These are the things that I like. These are the things that I want to achieve. And this is who I am." When was the last time you said that to yourself? And you can easily fill in the blanks. I'd like for you to give us your thoughts on this. Am I way out of context with this? Am I bugging out? Or is this something that is real? Because I think that it's important for us to connect with ourselves daily, reintroducing ourselves to ourselves daily. Like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. This is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. This week's podcast is sponsored by StreetEquities.com. For all custom apparel needs, no minimums. All of your designs can come to life. Visit StreetEquities.com. Tell them Tommy sent you and get a 20% discount. Thank you for tuning into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Check us out on various platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Overcast, Castbox, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn, or Alexa Media.